After a wonderful summer visiting friends and family, we made our way to Windsor, Ontario, where we arranged to cross the border into the United States. Given COVID restrictions at the land border crossing, we were required to ship our vehicle on a flatbed truck and fly ourselves into Detroit. After a paperwork error caused our truck to get turned back from the border, we had to work hard to make new arrangements. With everything in place, but a few days delayed, we got to fly a really cool helicopter to reunite with Chuck the Truck. We had to make up some lost time, so we drove 2 long days westward to get to Sioux Falls, South Dakota, where our hotel had an awesome water park. We had the place to ourselves while we prepared for our first camping spot at Badlands National Park. This park, like Drumheller, Alberta, contains rich fossil beds and geologic deposits. At the visitor center, we watched paleontologists as they worked on new fossil discoveries. The park is also home to prairie dwellers such as bison, bighorn sheep, and prairie dogs. It is designated as a dark sky preserve, which means that the stars are really bright. One night we attended a ranger talk and they used bright laser pointers to point out interesting stars in the sky. We also got to see Jupiter and Saturn through powerful telescopes. Close to Badlands are 2 Minuteman missile sites where we took a tour to see how the U.S. military prepared for possible war with Russia. We visited an underground bunker from where the missiles would have been launched. Our guide was great and showed us how the missileers lived and trained. We got to see one of the actual missiles still in its silo. It was bigger than we thought. After 2 nights at Badlands, we visited Mount Rushmore. It was very busy with other people, so we only spent a short time gazing at the faces and discussing how hard it must have been to carve them. That evening, we arrived at Devil's Tower in Wyoming. We had a quick visit in the visitor center and learned that geologists are still debating how it was formed. We walked around the base and saw some climbers making their way up one face. We camped for one night at the tower's base and enjoyed the morning views. next big drive day took us to Cody, Wyoming, where we did our laundry and got ready for our visit to Yellowstone National Park. This park is huge and is nestled in the lower Rocky Mountains. The drive in through the eastern gate of the park was spectacular. We found a friendly ranger who gave us lots of tips on how to enjoy our stay. Right away, we spotted a herd of bison and stopped to see some bubbling mud pots and steaming hot springs.
This is the Grand Canyon of Yellowstone River. It looks like a real-life painting. Seriously.
Each day of exploring gave us closer looks at so many different hydrothermal features. We love watching geysers and waiting for them to blow high in the air. Hot springs are home to rare thermophilic bacteria which survive in the inhospitable heat and chemicals of the springs. These bacteria give each spring their unique shapes and colors. We watched the famous Old Faithful erupt and hiked to a viewpoint to see the colorful Grand Prismatic Spring. We also spotted many steam vents and would often cringe at the smell of the ammonia and hydrogen sulfide. A large portion of the center of the park is located above an ancient supervolcano that is being closely monitored. We were warned often of the dangers in the park, including being burned or being chased by wildlife. One evening at our campground, we watched a family of elk graze by the river. It was so peaceful. We left Yellowstone having only seen a fraction of what it has to offer. We'd love to come back for another visit. We left Yellowstone at the West Gate and made our way to Salt Lake City, Utah, for a few days' rest. We then drove to the Bonneville Salt Flats, a dry ancient seabed that is 30,000 acres of flat salt. We learned about the many speed records which have been set there, and had a great time picnicking and dancing in this unique and beautiful place. Our next stop was Great Basin National Park, located in the Snake Mountains of Nevada. It is another diverse and unexpected place with ancient bristle pine trees at mountain peaks and hot, dry deserts in the valleys. But the coolest part of this park was the Lehman Cave. We got to take a tour inside the cave and learn about how it has formed over millions of years. Stalactites grow at a rate of less than 1 centimeter per 100 years. We were not allowed to touch them, but we got to look at them up close. Our guide also turned off all the lights so that we could experience total darkness, and wow, was it dark. Our family held hands so that Mom and Dad wouldn't be scared in the dark. The next leg of our journey will take us camping and hiking into the Great Canyon parks of Arizona and Utah. We can't wait.